Well, welcome in everybody to our UNI2 Izumi patch discussion. We're going to talk about a bunch of amazing topics today, like Izumi and the patch that she came with. Very exciting. Let's just go down left to right and introduce ourselves. Say a fun fact, like at work.
Fun facts like what?
Like you would,
I have no fun fact.
okay, moving on to fun. Okay, Foxa.
Okay, hey, I'm Foxov, and fun fact, the first character that I tried was Chaos. He was really cool.
Gross.
And then I got whooped by Merkava on PSN 5-frame netplay and was like, I need a character with an anti-air, and so I picked Linne so I could smash Force Function.
That was
What?
okay. Yeah, interesting choice for anti-air, but that was fun. That was pretty fun. Garm, you got anything?
Yeah. Hey, I'm Garfield, and my fun fact is, uh, recently I smoked Red Blade and UNI2's while he was playing top line Gordeau.
Ooh. Yo, did I get skipped? What's going on, man?
Like, like Defi, what's up?
Oh, hey.
Yo, I'm still the best roller skater in the uni scene. I'm pretty sure I'm number one.
Ooh.
Fun fact, climax of night, Friday night, join me in my adventure to the
And
rink.
Big Black, you got to have something now.
No, not really.
like you can just lie if you want.
Uh, no, I don't know.
Alrighty, well, welcome in everybody. Great introductions. We covered all the important things, like everyone's fun fact. I will say I've seen you guys, on the game. I've seen some of you guys on the Izumi Rip leaderboard. You guys, so a couple of you guys are kind of up there. I'm curious what you guys think of Izumi. First of all, we'll start with Big Black. What do you find like fun about her? Something that like you think is a bit different compared to other characters, or maybe there's nothing different and she's boring.
Well, I'll say she's fun for sure. I really like playing her. I think honestly the funniest thing is just doing 6 FFC to people
It's
because
actually
nobody's blocking and they're
unblockable.
just getting hit. I find that pretty funny.
I'm trying to figure out if that move is like we're just not used to the animation, or it's just like the animation is just invisible.
No, you're just not used to it.
Yeah. Defi, how are you feeling?
So Azumi, I think she is fun. And if I could describe it in one word why she's fun. And her funness comes from, I'd say, weakness. Her she is like kind of like Kaguya, where the character has a glaring weakness that people don't realize about that exists, but the character's just so overpowered that that glaring weakness is like, just be creative and you can get past it. So she's kind of like Kaguya's strength kind of character. Kaguya's bullshit. Kaguya's just bullshit. So Izumi is like same thing. It's just bullshit. It's the same shit.
Fox, have you gotten to try her, or are you like too enamored by Ogre?
I have entirely been on the receiving end, so I would like to say the opposite. It is not fun getting hit by 6FFC, and I think I'm going to get hit by it many, many more times before I'm used to it. But no, I think that she's pretty interesting. Like Defiant was saying, like there are clearly some weaknesses there that you can play around. Like I don't think that she's gonna struggle like with zoning matchups quite as bad as maybe initially thought. Just like glancing at her kit, I was like, that could be a problem. But like I am seeing the vision, you know. So especially playing against 2 gig, I like can see all of the set play potential, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I think like I was a little worried that because she has a combo throw in the corner and with bubble, that she was just kind of more strictly just going to be like a set play. I'm gonna like dash up backdash on you sort of character, which I think is like honestly the most boring aspect of set play in this game. But no, she's got like some pretty interesting high low stuff too. So and left right, I guess, if you can find a way to set it up. But like, yeah, she's pretty cool.
And Garm, how are you feeling?
Oh, character's fun. I don't want to play Izumi into like User or Hilda. Every time I run into one of those characters, I'm just thinking about what dinner I should get.
Okay,
Just
so I was a
staring
little
at
right.
them.
I was a little right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I found like the way I kind of ended up at, where it's like if you can't, like some matchups are just like you have to like 2-1-4B or like 2-2C and like pray that it works in like a couple matchups, but kind of like what Defi was saying, like the strong parts are really strong, so like the weakness, like it sucks in a couple matchups, but it's kind of like, you know, once you get your hit, you can kind of get the snowball rolling.
Yeah, I think you can really compensate for her weaknesses. Like, my biggest thing with her is that if you land a mid-screen throw, they're just free to back and leave. But this character can just she can block string you like corner to corner, I think, with some resources. So you don't have to actually end up mid-screen throwing them.
Yeah, I
So
think
there's
it's
stuff like that. Yeah.
it's kind of crazy. I wonder like where she ranks on like the your opponent is grid broken, so I'm OP tier list. Because like when you're grid broken against her and she can do like IC 5C into gapless air normals and then like just do the block string again.
True. Oh, that's funny.
It's like I don't like. I hope you have 100 meter or like.
There's a way to counterplay IC5C though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you. Assuming she doesn't have like other projectiles on you, you can just backdash it, and when she whiffs it, she can't do anything in the air until she lands. So.
Oh right, because 2C IC 5C has a gap, right?
Instructions unclear. I was in the corner.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you could still.
Yeah, if you're in the corner, you're screwed.
You could probably still backdash it in the corner, right?
You know what's so crazy to me is like, when I was this was like last version, and by version I mean like game, like Claire. When I was like showing off how Landrekia could grid break throw you and then just like loop JC, JB, or JA, I feel like I got more concerned people and
Or is that me?
Wait, hello? Can you guys hear me?
Okay,
Oh,
it's
did
not.
we all
Hello,
die?
hello.
We all
I
died.
don't.
Oh.
Okay, Discord is dying. Discord is dying.
Oh.
Oh no.
Okay, I think we're back. You might have to repeat that, Fox. The last thing, at least the last thing I heard was you were talking about showing people Lond like JC, JBJ.
Yeah, no, I was just a little surprised that like so when you're grid broken, you kind of just have to hold that, and when he falls with JBJA, you're actually getting your grid break removed faster. Whenever you're blocking in grid break, like you get your grid break removed quicker, but especially overheads bring it back faster. Kind of the same way that you get grid from them. So like it doesn't last more than a few loops. But people were like seemingly really perturbed when I posted that, like more perturbed about like holding a few JC loops from Lond than they were like the Batista stuff I was posting. And that blew my mind. I was like, no way. Come on, like the VAT stuff is way crazier.
Yeah, you can definitely.
But
Oh, what's up, Duffy?
oh, it is, but think about it, Fox. It's the difference in frequency. You can do like 5 lawn increase JCs in a row or some shit, and every single one of those is like a throw point. But with that, you know, it's a completely different thing. It's maybe like not even one or not even two, like not even a throw point. It's probably just a mix up, a singular mix up point. But you know, it's just not the same.
Do you guys feel like I'm curious on your guys' thoughts on people throwing out like oh, she's female Lawn, she's female Byakuya. I wonder especially how Big Black feels cuz you know play Byakuya, so does she feel like you're kind of at home with, you know, 2B, 2C or like 2C, 5A with 6B? Like does it feel familiar?
I mean, it feels familiar in the sense that like a lot of uni characters can pressure that way. She doesn't feel like Byakuya at all, if you ask me. But
Hmm. Cuz my impression was like dash up 2B, like hitting someone low like your B normal half screen is like the Byakuya experience.
She does kind of shoot.
I
She, like,
mean,
is pretty fast on the ground.
like doing dash up 2B, like her dash up 2B is really strong. I agree, but I don't. It doesn't really feel like Byakuya to me. I don't know.
I guess you're more of like a walking backwards and then 2B kind of guy.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's fair.
Defiant, I
But I mean,
remember you.
in turn. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was just gonna say, like, you said Byakuya or Landrekia, and I distinctly remember Defiant tweeting out from Evo being like, Izumi is the second coming of Landrekia, and I didn't know if he was referring to UNI2 Landrekia or like Claire Landrekia. I didn't know if I should take that as a good thing or a bad thing.
No, she's both, cause she's not like as bad as Claire Laundrakia was, where like he didn't do any damage, but like this character fucking explodes you. When she hits you, she does damage. Like compared to the last character that did an extreme amount of damage when they came out first, like first version was Kuon. She's kind of like Kuon, where she'll randomly hit you and do like 4K off of a weird goofy hit, and you're like, oh wait a minute, this character actually does damage off of her half screen pokes. But like the way I see it is she's like Lon, where she does so much damage where you shouldn't spend your meter honestly, and you should instead keep it for maybe EX Bubble Beam or EX 22 because you set the 22 on top of them. Or the best one is EX Bubble, which is EX Bubble on block is like, oh, I'm playing Street Fighter 6. Let me throw my EX fan and make you guess on a strike throw situation, but it's an anime game, so she gets a combo and she kills you off of that throw. It's not the same. So
I was having so much fun using the bubble, and then someone in my chat was like, "It's like my fan," and I was like, "No, it just
it
killed
is.
the whole vision." But you're definitely right. I agree that like, so if you guys don't know, maybe to listeners who don't know, the meterless bubble you can just hit and it'll go away. But the EX bubble, you have to use a projectile deleting move to get rid of it. Um, so when Defy's talking about like doing it on block, like just do like button on block and then EX bubble, and like I'm sitting there as Gordeau and I'm like I have no way to delete this bubble. I have zero projectile deleting moves. Like I just have to guess.
Damn, that's crazy because
No,
I
even
haven't been all,
characters.
all
Oh,
I've been
sorry.
doing is doing like up back C fireball and being like, haha, there it went away. So yeah, what were you saying, Stefan?
No, go ahead. You were in a deep conversation. You were in a deep sentence.
No. I mean, I just like as the ogre player, I guess I feel a little bit better about that situation because unless I'm getting 6FF seed, which again I'm gonna get hit by that a lot, but unless I'm like getting called out for it specifically, I see the bubble and I'm just like, oh, that looks pretty burstable. I'm gonna up back C fireball,
But
But yeah, it's probably a whole different world for Gord.
On block, like if you set it up properly, even characters with like invul projectile moves or like up back projectile moves can't get them out fast enough or they will get hit by the bubble. She literally has like patch one my EX fan. You just, if you're in front of them, do EX fan and they have to guess. It's the same shit. It's, if you treat her like that, she's honestly kind of unique because no other character kind of just has like a move that's like my EX fan where you just do it on block and you have to guess. Like even Lon's had like Lon 22C has definitely a lot more nuance there. Like Izumi straight up like just do like 5A EX bubble +1 in their face. They could mash, but they're gonna get hit by the bubble bouncing on top of them. So it's this. It's literally just the same as mine. So yeah, this character's bullshit, man. People ass. They're ass, bro. Like Izumi's BS. Izumi's BS. She's BS. Straight BS. That character BS. That's
When I realized that when Fish is out, her Rekkas can just be +1, I was like, oh. Oh.
yeah.
When she's
Kind of
in,
reminds me of Hyde.
in, huh?
Yeah, it reminds me of Hyde. It's the same shit as Hyde. You just do your +1, even if they shield it, you might as well be plus because you're gonna be pushed out like halfway across the screen on -2 against a character with superior frame data. Because Izumi has superior frame data. She has like superior god tier frame data compared to most characters. So like
How
you
do
gonna
we
you gonna get hit. Yeah, you
how
gonna
do
get
we
hit by
feel
her.
about her 3C? Because I've like seen so many clips of it like not working or something like that, but then I played against 2GIG and it seemed to be working great against me when he used it. So I don't know. What are your experiences?
The only interaction I've seen where I'm like, okay, maybe it should be adjusted is like if someone assaults at you with dash momentum like point blank, like you can there's a timing where like the 3C will like while they're like right above you, it will whiff. And
Okay.
I think that is a little like you can delay the 3C more and you can hit them fine. But I do think that that is like a little annoying when they're like literally assaulting in your face. Like I feel like that's when your 3C should always work. But as someone, it's kind of funny because as someone who's like, I don't play any characters who actually have a 3C. So I've been like, this is amazing. I've been like, I can OS, like I can react to anti-air and get a big comp. I'm like, this is amazing. This is so sick. And then everyone's like, no, this 3C doesn't work. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I think aside from that, like that specific dead zone, like I feel like it's fine.
Dude, her 5A is so high vertically. It's like Seth 5A. She's
It's
Yeah,
such a
I was
good.
gonna
It's
say
such a good 5A.
the
It's
dead
so
zone is
good.
covered by 5A.
It's so good.
5A Plink ADOS.
Nah, I just press 5A, man. You don't even, like it's too complicated. Just press 5A, bro. You gonna hit most people with just 5A on that character, in my opinion.
Yeah, I haven't had too many like I guess there was like a funny clip of me like pressing 3C against VAT and it like not hitting, but like that's gonna be true for like most 3Cs that aren't
Yeah,
hides.
it's true. A lot of
Everyone
characters for
3C.
sure.
Yeah. I do think the EX bubble beam is pretty fucked
Oh
up.
my god, that move is
Broken,
crazy.
broken, carried.
That's an
I
okay
was
move.
seeing a like 2-2x set into bubble beam, and you just like up forward, and you have like a million years to just do a full jump forward into 2A. I was like, no way. At least that's the Twitter technology.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
I just
like round start bubble beam, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I think it's 10. It has some travel time, but I think the startup hitbox is 10 frames, like the earliest
Mhm.
one.
Yeah, it's 10. It is 10. I've been trying to lab this character decent bits so I know her frame data so I don't get cooked by
Oh,
some. Yeah.
Fox, if you were saying you played against 2GIG, has he been doing any of the fuzzy setups?
I don't think that he fuzzied me. I like would be very surprised if he wasn't though. I don't think that he fuzzied me. I don't think he had to because honestly, I was getting opened up by a lot of stuff that probably made him go like, "Oh, okay, that's a little boring." Like, I'm still getting hit by like 2-2x and stuff like that. So just him doing like I don't know what we want to call it, fish flight into low was like good enough to open me up. So, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if 2 gig is like already on all the fuzzy setups and stuff like that. Like, yeah, he's very methodical when he picks up a character. So
Yeah, I definitely the 2-2s is also another thing that is like I need more time to get used to seeing this animation. Because sometimes I play against an Izumi who like is just doing like regular block strings, and then I fight the Izumi that's like 2 buttons 2-2, 2 buttons 2-2, or like six or
yeah,
like FFC overhead, and I'm like, okay, this is the type of wavelength we're on.
Oh, I'm very thankful for those players. So, like, it's good practice.
Yeah, for sure.
I think like an overhead like that takes you maybe 2 weeks of gameplay to get used to, and then it becomes a lot less scary.
Are there any matchups you guys have played as Izumi where you're like, yeah, I don't know what the other character does. Like this is like Izumi feels really strong.
Merkava. Izumi's worst matchup is Merkava because
No,
he can literally like.
Let's asking about best matchups.
I'm the other way around. Yeah.
Oh, best matchups? Any character that is on the floor, any character where their game plan is being on the floor, it's impossible to win against Izumi. She has like top 5 ground game. And like if you play on the ground, you're just gonna lose. I hate playing Ogre Izumi because all of her buttons just are fucking bullshit. Her Rekka's like all that's bullshit. Like the only way you beat this character if you're in the air, and most characters don't have like
dude,
an
I was
air
gonna
game plan
say.
that's as strong as their ground game plan. So like even a character like Seth, yes, they can flail in the air and like Izumi can't do anything, but once you get on the floor, she's unstoppable. She's a beast on the floor. She might be the best ground gamed character, like up there, like really high in terms of ground game. Like you're gonna get whiff punished or you're gonna get hit by some random shit. She just wins the ground game for no reason. For
Dude,
no reason.
I've been like in the times I've been playing Ogre Izumi, I feel like me using Ogre's air fireballs have like been make or break it for the matchup for me. Like if I'm using the air fireballs really well, and I'm like, paying close enough attention to like increase 236 speed, then I definitely like can get some stuff started. But if I don't, yeah, then it's like, okay, I guess I should just respect these options a lot and kind of like let her take the reins on the ground game because yeah, uh, if I can't fly, it doesn't feel so good. But yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine though how like Batista, like characters that can just kind of get away pretty easily. I could see how that could kind of be a problem. But like Merkava, you think is like the worst?
Merkava's the Merkava's the worst one. The best is like definitely grounded characters like Ogre. I think Ogre's got a bad matchup against Izumi. Like her ground game is so much better than Ogre's. Like Ogre has to commit to like these whiff punishes that she can punish, and like everything she does is like a half screen option. Like I don't understand why people complain playing this character. She's so good. She's like current Kaguya right now. She's so broken at everything else, but she does have a weakness. Like Kaguya, I think her weakness, and I think everyone would agree with me, is that she can't neutral skip. She don't got no like auto neutral skip fireball. Even her EX moves don't let her neutral skip. She's got no neutral skips, and she has to work to get in. That is her weakness. And I like that. I like that about her. She can't neutral skip. It doesn't exist. 6-6E is not a neutral skip. 2D6E is not a neutral skip. She can't do that. And Izuki's like that, where she can't she doesn't have a solid anti-air game, and that's her weakness. But when you look at her kit, it's like, wow, she has numerous ways to anti-air the opponent. She just doesn't have a singular option, like an idiot character like Eltnum who just presses 3C and hits top of the screen, in front of her, behind her, maybe digging her butt a little bit with her 3C or some shit. Like she can hits everywhere on the screen with her 3C.
Or like force
Kanye,
function.
or yeah, or no, her 3C, even her 3C will, she flipping her hands up, she's scratching her back, like she's hitting behind her back. Like
Reed Richards?
Izumi's like, okay, I got my monocle on, maybe I should Rising JA right here. Maybe I should let them do their air no more run behind them. Or maybe I should press 3C, hypothetically speaking. I should
I'm
press a
not used to
3C.
people talking about Rising JA as a informed monocle option, you
It
know?
is. It's because you hang around Red Blade too much. He's like, God, dude, I need Rising J to be nerfed. I'm like, dude, you got a coconut in your head, man. You got a big fat head, bruh. That's empty. Because Rising JA is balanced. But that's a different discussion. That's a different conversation.
I mean, we can definitely have the Rising JA discussion if we want to.
Dude,
Rising JA is balanced.
okay, so I think that in the context of the game that we are currently playing, it makes a lot of sense, and you kind of need it there for some things. I think that if the game, how do I want to phrase this? If dash momentum throw was not such a threatening option from so many ranges in a repressure range, I think that maybe JA would be a little overtuned. But for the current game that we're playing, it makes perfect sense. Like in
Yeah.
a more ideal world for me would be like if throw ranges were a little bit reduced, so you had to like do a deeper run up. And in that case, like you could actually make more informed guesses on throw. Like you could actually be consistently OSing and not really forced into binary decisions where it's simply did I tech or did I not? Because you don't have enough time to do anything else with dash speed, you know? So I think if the game were a little bit slower, then maybe JA could use like assault scaling. But since we're playing the game that we're playing, then yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I
Also,
think you
there,
have
like,
to.
if you notice, sorry, just like a very end tagline. If you notice, like talking about Red Blade, 2 gig, are like the two just off the top of my head that like if you look at the way that they structure their pressure, they are structuring their pressure around catching jump in on defense, you know? So they will like introduce like delays into 3C or something like that specifically to scout for it. And it's working out just fine for them. So I don't think it's like some impossible overpowered option. Like clearly there are ways to play around it. But yeah, you were saying that?
I was just saying, like, I think putting in the context of the game is right because people talk about like how strong like JOS is, but then are like give me 1 AD back or like make the throw tech window bigger, and it's like, and then people are saying, well, let's nerf JA. It's like, well, you want defense to be like even weaker than how it is right now because the game, the way the game currently is, I think you're right that it's like you do need like that kind of defensive option. Like I don't even want to say like super broken because it's not really in the context of the game. It's just like it's an option that your opponent can do on defense that you have to look out for, and I feel like that's just how it is.
Figured it out.
Right, it's like a symptom because blocking and waiting and mashing is so like sometimes it feels super unreliable. But also I think some characters like this game was not balanced around Rising Jump A being a defensive option. Uh, like Foxer said, because of it, like the damage scaling could be adjusted, but also uh, some characters B buttons just get Rising Jump 8 over. Like I do walk of Hilda 5B and it just like Rising Jump 8 just hits the dead zone. I mean, I understand I'm playing a zoner. I'm not supposed to like be playing that range that much, but I don't think like that was a consideration where her
I
5B
think
was
that
designed.
I think that when you call out like rising buttons, it feels like you really have to have um you know, a dedicated anti-air button like Hilda 3B or force function or something like that, because yeah, it covers a pretty good range, and like being able to intercept people coming in towards you too is really valuable about it. And like, yeah, sometimes you just like JA, and it turns out they were doing like, I'm gonna walk back, close my eyes, and press like 2B or 5B or something like that, and then you just like fall onto their button and punish them for it. So, but yeah, I agree. And to be fair, it could also just be Hilda 5B is uh not as strong of a button this version for sure. It's a very fair, it's a very
Yeah.
fair in quotations button, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just looking at the other 5Bs and feeling a little bit of envy. I mean, that button's great. It's just not good for catching up forward.
Well, to be fair, there have been times like even Byakuya 5B. I I've tried to hit someone out of the air and I get clipped. So I mean, I don't know.
He making up stories, bro. He making up fairy tales, bro.
Making
He
up
making up.
stories. It happened.
No, it's.
You could go
I'm
look at
pretty sure. I'm
Frosty's
pretty sure I did this.
top 8 and watch me play Ojito and
he
see my 5B
remembers.
get
Oh,
counter hit by
right.
JA.
What about current version of Byakuya 5B though? I got anti-air by
I
that like twice this like
You're not wrong. You're
after the
not
patch,
wrong.
and I lost I lost a bit of myself, you know.
dude, I know that BB is telling the truth because I know that
He
I'm like
is.
one of the people who have done this. So.
Yeah, he not wrong. He said Frosties. I was like, oh, I remember that Frosties when you got hit by every A dive.
He had the
I
receipts.
most definitely remember that one. I don't forget he. I definitely don't forget he. Mm-mm.
I guess for JAs too, sometimes like I don't know. How do you guys feel about like with JA and then like other air option? You know?
It's fine.
I mean, I think it's fine, and it's definitely like it very much depends on the character, how like much of an option that even is for you. Like,
Right.
I mean, Landrekia has it easy. He just does with JA like Ice Rain, and you don't really do much about that, you know. But like a character like Seth, it perfectly makes sense for him to like with JA and then like air backdash into like fastball kick or whatever weird stuff he's gonna do, you know. Ogre, it feels like falling JB is actively a bad decision unless it's like again like falling on top of someone whiffing something, because like the cross up hitbox is just it's not quite big enough to like really get around some things in an effective way. Like you're kind of asking to trade with a 5A and get full comboed. So like 90% of the time when I do Rising JA on Ogre and I see that I am whiffing, I'm just air assaulting away like, never mind, I'm just kidding. Like I didn't mean it. Please let me escape. Please just like flail underneath me so I can just like assault away from the situation and like hide my shame, because that's like what he does, you know. And that's like, I don't know, I feel like that's the more semi-universal thing is like uh you can do like cool stuff like Rising JA into like Gord 2J236. I know you would do that, Lid, and it would probably work and you'd be cackling all the way through it. And that's fine. But like I feel like a lot of characters, if you don't have that like privileged kind of option afterwards, yeah, you just like air assault and just like hope they didn't punish you, you know.
Yeah, I've done that as Gord as well, because like Gord's like upward JA is only winning if it's a assault, right? Because you're just hitting an air to air. But just having like, I'll just be like, even if you hit the air to air, like getting the conversion off of that hit is like really awkward. So most of the time, it's like I'll just Rising JA. It's like, even if like I don't get a hit or anything, I'll just assault over. And I do feel like it's like it feels weird that it's like even with Gordeau's slower jump, it still feels like a really good option to do. Like I feel like I have to use it even though like the jump squat is slower. And like I know it's like only 1 frame, but I don't know, I feel it. I feel that 1 frame slower jump squat. I feel like it's harder to like, I guess, like squirm out on defense.
Well, yeah, 1 frame is like what, 20%?
True. Yeah. 20% slower jump. Oh, I like that. That's good.
Oh, I'm writing your agenda. My bad.
Rising JA is like taking the place of 3CAD as the best OS.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Right. Well, I think dive kick, not even OS, just dive kick is way better than Rising JAOS. Like leagues better. I hate when Red Blade's like, you lose your turn, bro. I'm like, oh my god, I'm -2. It's so bad. Oh my god, I'm -2. I have to take a strike throw mix up where there's no mix up because he's in my face and he can only do slight delay throw or like another like a super delayed throw or maybe like assault sucks for strike shimmies, and if you do assault for strike shimmies, you're not good because there's way better options for it. But it's not scary. Most characters get like -2 dive kicks on block, sometimes even 0. Eltnum gets a 0 on block TK dive kick. So throw, like, I think dive kick is the best anti-throw option. Hashtag not even an OS. When I play a dive kick character, I don't OS. You'll never see an AD because there's no point in doing the AD. You're going up in the air. Like if you get like that frame 1 airborne status, you're not gonna get thrown, so it doesn't matter. It's just
This
way
is
more
why
reliable.
I unleash the scrolls of offensive OSing. This is to, advance the meta. Now that
Honestly,
now that
offensive OSing
JA
is better. Offensive OSing is better than defensive OSing. I'm not gonna lie, it's better. It's
Oh
actually
yeah,
better.
I
That's not
didn't
even bad.
I didn't get to see that video. But like,
basically
yeah, can you
just
give
like
a little gist?
just imagine you're just doing like delay 3 CAD or delay 2 AD on wake up so that if they're like defiant here and they're just like blocking for like maybe 5 frames on wake up and then doing okay, I'm dive kicking. Then you time your 3 CAD so that you either block their DP or you anti-air their like JA or dive kick. And that you also like tech their throw if they just wake up throw like a crazy person. You block their wake up mash. So like, it covers a lot of squirm options that your opponent wants to do, including their reversals. The only thing that it like really loses to is if they do a delayed button on defense, not like a fuzzy mash that would actually cover you doing like a throw on frame 9, but if they're like sloppy and they like press 2A like 10 frames late, then you get hit. So it's kind of a trust fall that your opponent also knows what the hell they're doing. Um, so yeah, but I mean, if it's good at like blowing people up at the extreme low level where like they're only doing like wake up DP versus wake up throw, and it's good at the extreme high level of like they know all of their like throw protection timings and like how they're going to fuzzy jump or fuzzy mash or whatever, so you get to exploit that. But it's probably worse at like the mid level where they don't really know what they're doing, but they know that you didn't meaty them on wake up, and so they kind of like scramble mash. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what it's bad against, but it's kind of good on like the other ends of the extremes. So
Yeah, I remember like talking to people at locals who were like newer to the game. They'd get really annoyed when they'd like run up on somebody and like try to do like a delayed OS crush, and they would just like instantly stand tech every time. I was like, yeah, you can do like run up delay 2 AD, and like if someone is like mashing throw on defense because they're just like get me out, then you can tech the throw and then you're +8 and you have grid.
yeah.
Also, like not that hard to implement. I guess it depends on like your character's 2A, like if it's worth like doing, but like you probably have like a good enough 2A for it or like a good enough 3C for it for most characters.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, knowing when you know that and you understand that JA is like kind of the goated OS this version, you can kind of combine those two concepts and like you can have someone who's like ready to JA and you can have someone who's like ready to offensively 3CAD, and you can have a meeting of the minds. That's the OS triangle kind of this version a little bit.
Yeah, I feel that way using like a move I need to use more on offense, like Gord 2C that way. Or like
Yeah.
run up like delay 2cat is like I'll catch
Yeah.
like a fuzzy jump or like a rising JA or like a if they throw me for some reason, like tech that throw. Like I was that was nailed into me when I played against Breaker Dave because I wanted Merkava practice for Evo, so I played against him and he was like after we played like 2 first attempts and he like destroyed me in the first set. And he's like yeah I'm just like he was just fuzzy dive kicking like the whole set and I was just getting destroyed. And I was like okay, he's like yelling at me basically through his gameplay like use 2C to like catch
Yeah.
this fuzzy jump and then okay, it's definitely like like when I was playing at Stang like he would do like he was using Izumi 3C like in his block strings as well, which I thought was a good usage similar kind of situation.
Yeah. I actually just played Stang before hopping on here. And yeah, same, I can attest. And this is all, by the way, like you were mentioning like Breaker Dave and Stang, and I'll throw in also like Infinity, and 2 Gig as well. Like all of these seasoned veteran players have been doing this stuff, since EL. So like this is all 10-year-old tech. This
Yeah.
is kind of just the game we play. Except, now you can kind of expect it to be more semi-universal. It's not just like Merkava. You're doing it to like a lot of characters.
Something that I noticed Sting doing that I thought was pretty cool is he was using Izumi Smart Steer a lot because
Oh,
he would do 5BB, which like moves Izumi forward pretty far. Like after like you do like 1 or 2 buttons, 5BB, and then 5A, because the 5B stagger is pretty big. So it's like 5B delay B, and then 5A, and then 5B again, and then like you do like 5BB like into 3C, and I'm like, dude, this guy's like glued to me. I'm like, get off of me.
I saw this. I mean, it's not like practical, but I saw a Twitter clip that was like using Izumi Smart Steer like that to just actually pressure the opponent from one side of the screen all the way to the other. It was like Smart Steer into Bubble Beam like 2 or 3 times, and they just like cover the entire screen. And I was like, this feels so nostalgic for me. This is like when they would post Wagner block strings in ST.
I
You
was
know what I
gonna
mean?
say, I think I saw Red Blade just block string someone for 30 seconds,
Yeah.
just randomly on a stream when I was watching in or in ST.
I guess we can bring it back to Izumi. Like, what would I think Defi you said Kagi already, but for the others, like what kind of character strength do you think like is closest to Izumi?
It's really hard not to make the Kaguya comparison because of combo throw leading into such a good situation.
Yeah,
And Kaguya and Carmine like were the first characters like that always come to mind about that, because like when they throw you, they are completely set up again. And so if you like 3D through whatever Oki they have going on and they correctly punish your 3D, they are back at 100%. They're still doing the thing. They didn't really lose anything. You're in exactly the same situation, and that's like very different from characters like Batista, who is a super super strong character, but like off of corner throw, like if you roll disco, uh, like taking the throw is actually like better than taking a high low from her, because then it's kind of like she's at a dead end. Like now she's done. But yeah, Zumi, she strikes me as like kind of a similar strength of like once she gets going and she gets like her win condition, which is like, you know, ideally corner plus whatever like whatever several things that she wants to have, like 2-2x about to spring up on you, or bubble, or both, and gets to like loop those situations. That seems like really strong to me. And then like her neutral is not so bad that she can't get set up into those win conditions. So yeah, it's hard not to make the Kaguya comparison, but I definitely agree with Defiant that like Unlike Kaguya, I feel like she has an easier time getting in if you are on the ground. You know, she has ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not even like, I mean, Byakuya does get like corner throw into web set. That's pretty strong. But I don't know. I feel like Kaguya and Izumi get even a little bit more than that. You know, so.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like even with Kaguya, like it's the crazy thing for her is that it's like all meterless. Like you can meterless set up again. I feel like with Izumi, part of me wonders like, so I guess the Izumi I play is kind of like, I like the setup I do is like with EX bubble mix up. Like it's like not a good setup, but like it's funny and I like the ball. Uh, but I see a lot of people do EX, like you end your combo by hitting them with the EX ball, and then you set up the meterless one, and then you like kick the ball, so or you kick the bubble so that it like bounces, and then you go for the strike throw there. But that setup kind of feels like it goes away like too fast if you're wrong. Whereas EX bubble is like you can not open up your opponent and like the ball is gonna like start bouncing back towards them again and then like give you like another strike throw setup. So I kind of like that. Like,
And it persists on throw tech, right?
yes,
Yeah.
it does. I kind of like that. Like the EX version is like, yeah, I'm not getting as much combo damage, but like my mix up is stronger. I think that's kind of neat compared to like Byakuya or Carmine, for example, where you just always do the EX because it just like is always good damage and always gives you the best setup.
It's pretty nice having decisions to make like that, you know. Something that I was kind of worried about with Ogre was that the patch would, in some way, kind of reduce too much the amount of decision making that you have to make as far as like your enders and like what you want to do with your routing. And to some degree, that was true because like now all of our most optimal combos are just like 236XX, just like his punch rekka detonating the bomb, and then you just like get all of your highest damage that way instead of like timing out specials before the bomb detonates, which is like kind of a bigger ask, you know. So like in that way, it did become a little bit more linear, but definitely like in every other way, it doesn't feel like he had any like decisions removed, and I was pretty happy about that. You know, we like that. Like I was not a fan to go the other direction. I was not a fan of Landrekia getting 4cc flower set as just like a universal combo ender. That kind of felt like it removed some of the more interesting decision making about like routing enders for me. Um, but at least with Ogre, and I feel like I see it with Izumi. It's just like from a distance, and definitely characters like Batista. It feels pretty cool to see like the decisions that you have to make as far as like how you want to, uh, what you want to set up and like how it pertains to the game state. You know, you may want to be like not ending in steer ender on VAT, for example, if like you really need this next cycle and that sort of thing. So or you might want to extend it into steer ender as Ogre if you see that you have plenty of grid, but you just want to like kill time on the cycle so you get the Vorpal, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like that stuff is so cool to me. It's so much fun.
Yeah, that's one of like my favorite parts of playing Kaguya is because she doesn't have like the setup that like just
Yeah.
is always good and you should always do because it's you start to like notice like you really have to pay attention to like whether your opponent likes to delay tech or not. And then like one of the most fun times I've had playing Kaguya was I was playing against Shaylee offline in just some casuals at Chain Shift earlier this year. And I did the 2 and 4A grenade, and then he immediately teched, woke up, which is what you're supposed to do. And then I did the safe jump, and then he just didn't tech. And then he's like the first person I've played against who's like genuinely reacting to which grenade Kaguya is doing and like teching appropriately. And I was like, wow, this is such like a fun dynamic to play against, because then that's when I get to bring out partial charge B grenade set, which I never get to use because that still lets me throw him, but it doesn't show the IC flash, so he thinks it's the regular one. But then I get and it's like those little tiny decision making with the Oki is really fun, and I think like having that, like from a glance, if you're watching it from far away, you're like, wow, anime fighting game, this is so like fucked up, like just broken, throw my grenades, hit my opponent. But when you get into that like little nitty gritty, it's a really fun like interactive dynamic versus like always, not to like rag on like, you know, Mr. Byakuya over here, but doing the same web setup every time or something like that. I mean, you do have different setups for catching like 3D and stuff, right? So there's that.
There's definitely that. When I play against Corey, I feel like he like exclusively uses the like please never 3D me ever kind of setup.
Mm.
And like the credit that I will give Corey about his Byakuya is that he's like the most creeping edgeable Byakuya in existence. Like there was just I've never successfully 3D'd against him, period, ever. It's never happened. He knows what he wants to get out of the setup, and he like I respect it, you know. There are trade-offs though, but
I guess BB, because you've been playing. You probably played. I think. I mean, I saw you had 2 mil rips. So you probably played the most out of her. But is there a specific setup you were using on Izumi?
I kind of use both. I think there are merits to both. I think the strong point about doing like routing into 2-2x into 2-4C in the corner is that since Izumi doesn't really have a lot of natural knockdowns, if you do the setup with 2-2x, I think the opponent is technically on the ground when they get caught by the bubble, so they can't forward tech. A big thing about Izumi is that a lot of combos that she ends, you're allowed to forward tech because you're airborne. So that setup takes away the option of forward tech as compared to like there are times where I'll end in her Rekka series and end in the A follow up and try to delay the EX bubble a little bit so that way it will bounce out of the corner and then come back. And I'll just block string until it comes back and then go for a strike throw that way.
Is
But
the
I guess it
sorry?
just depends on what you want to do.
Is the 2-2 like you're hitting them with 2-2 and then canceling the 2-2 into 2-4C?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Were you doing like similar stuff, Garm? Or
Oh, I'm only doing fake stuff.
Okay.
But today, just like an hour before we hopped into this call, Pinku gave me the combo that has 2-2 into 2-1-4C. I didn't get to play with it any. Seems quite good. Yeah, before that I was basically just doing whatever into the X bubble, into regular bubble, into please do not forward tech because otherwise I'll have to scramble. But I am pretty good at scrambling, so I was sort of making it work on rank. So yeah.
Yeah, how's your Izumi experience been? Like, that's kind of how I was playing her. I was kind of just like, I feel like you can. I think something that's really cool about Izumi is that you can like, she's really simple, but she has a lot of depth as well. Like, I saw a tweet, where someone was like, I forgot who tweeted it. I think it was Rakir. Was like, Izumi's really just like the perfect character. Like cute anime girl, really easy to play on paper. Has like the depth setups if you want them. Like has a 1-button DP. Not if you know it's not the best, but it is still a 1-button DP.
Right.
Like I feel like they did a really good job with Izumi like overall.
Oh yeah, I think this character's really fun. She has a. I think the thing about this character is there's so many things in different directions that you can work on. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, She can play spacing traps. She definitely has the Oki. You can yeet neutral a lot on this character if you really wanted to, which is what I've been doing. Like just jumping around, spamming jump 236. So there's like bound to be 2 or 3 things that interest you about this character, even if the entire package isn't like your thing.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna mash on her, like, for content or whatever, get the YouTube video out. And then I was like, no, this is actually like pretty fun. Like, definitely not a character I'm like gonna continue playing, but I was having a lot more fun just pressing buttons on her and just like doing silly bubble into, whatever I can come up with.
It's been pretty fun seeing how different players' play styles like translate to this character. you know, especially with like how many people are playing Izumi right now. It's like you kind of all the more get to see how different players' play styles shine through with the same kit.
Mm-hmm. It was funny. I remember seeing Garm your tweet about like people using FF and like.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Honestly, I'm one of those guys too. I
It
think.
was so
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's so funny when I was playing 2 gig, like when I was like playing him and I was just like kind of doing my like regular blockstring pressure as he had Vorpal, like it's fine. I know you're gonna like CS FF me, and that's okay. I'll just take the like tiny little knockdown and go next. I'm just gonna kind of play the risk reward on this one that like, oh, I'll take your DP. That's okay. And so then, I would meaty or frame trap or whatever, and I would see the red mist, and he would see the red mist, and no force function happened, and I just know it's because he knew that it's just bad enough that it wouldn't have worked. You see like a big red mist on me, you see my button coming out, no force function happens, and I'm in the back of my mind, I'm just like, that was a pretty informed decision there, huh?
Yeah, I've pressed FF versus like every single Nanase button startup on Red Mist, and it doesn't work versus any of them. But I'll keep pressing force function. I think sometime it will work, and I'll take my 800 damage and be happy.
I had a funny interaction with Stang where he was doing the thing where like, you shield B Reaper and then you DP the gap between that and
Oh no.
2360. And he did that to me. And then next time I just B Reapered and just no canceled it and just did nothing. And I just watched the FF whiff and then punish with 2B. And I was like, holy smokes. Which like technically you're supposed to react to like the EX flash, But I feel like it's also fair to assume that like your DP would probably just still be fine there. But that was pretty funny.
Yeah, the FF is in addition to being like pretty darn slow, it's also very short, so it's gonna whiff on a lot of things.
Yeah.
So
Still,
are we all like on team we gotta buff Izumi force function, or like
No,
no.
what do you guys think about that?
I
no.
don't think it needs to be buffed in terms of the hitbox. I just think it needs to be slightly faster.
How slow is it?
Yeah, I was about to say I don't actually know.
It's 15 frame startup, so
Oh yeah.
I think most A normal recoveries are like what 11, 12 frames.
Like if she was able to use it like post CS, seeing red mist on an A normal and getting a punish for it, I think that's fine. Like I don't need it to be like, oh, this person's jumping at me. Let me use force function because it's a one button reversal and it hits to the sky. Like the bad areas of it are fine in terms of the hitbox, vertical and horizontal. But like if I see someone pressing a button during my chain shift, let me hit them for it, please.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
want to get safe meatied all the time.
Yeah, it's like Grand Blue safe jab in Uni.
The damage is not that high anyways, so I feel like if that's a fair ask. I mean, you do get like your fish out as a result of it, but like the damage is damage is like pretty pitifully low. So
Yeah, I will say it is cool that you can use it in combos. I think that's cool.
yeah.
I think we've kind of, unless anyone has like any like big conversation topics on Izumi, but I think we can.
Oh, yeah,
Kinda-
sure. One last thing. You know, the way this character has developed over the past, I don't know, how has it been a week? Is really interesting. I think I was there like playing this character on day 3, and then I was playing into a certain Wagner player. Actually, it wasn't Redblade, it was another one. And Defiant came in, and we were just both like circle jerking a little bit about how bad this character is. But now she seems pretty good. So perceptions change really quickly, and I just wanted to point that out.
yeah, I think that is definitely true because like people were like at the Evo demo, everyone was like Izumi's gonna be broken, and then well the whole cast got buffed, and then people were like, well she's not gonna be good anymore, and then people were like, well my 3C whiffed one time, so I'm running into it longer, and then now we've kind of all calmed down.
Yeah.
Feel like Izumi, correct me if I'm wrong, because you guys actually play this character. I've just been on the receiving end, but it does feel like this is a character that released along with the patch in like pretty much the right spot in terms of like where they're supposed to be in power level, you know? It doesn't feel, maybe outside of force function, it doesn't feel like she's a character in beta. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
Oh yeah, for sure. I think she's the
Yeah.
most developed DLC that came out in this game.
yeah I think like
Which I mean, to be
Izumi.
fair, they did have the most time to put into her, and they had the initial reactions and responses to seeing how their other characters released. So
True.
it makes sense.
Yeah, I think like Izuki and Ogre. Well, my opinion on Ogre is a bit different, but generally those characters were perceived as releasing pretty underbaked. Uh, Izuki definitely got like the help she needed. Even like the base game new characters like Byakuya and Tsurugi kind of felt that way as well. Although Tsurugi was really just missing more damage, and then he got that, and then
Yeah.
Byakuya had a not like a plethora of issues, but definitely problems, and then they kind of addressed those as well. So not like removing her weaknesses, but you know, just making her a bit more functional against the stronger characters. Alrighty. Now we get to have the really fun conversation about all the other characters in the game. Because I know the patch reaction was kind of interesting. I do want to ask though, I guess before we talk about the patch in general, I would like to hear what you guys think, and obviously Fox have mostly like about the ogre buffs. Because I'm not gonna lie, I saw like I read through all the patch notes. It took like 3 hours to do, but I saw the paragraph on ogre, and I think I just scrolled by. Like I didn't retain like I was just like that's so much like. I'm like, did they increase the stagger window? No. Okay, we're good. And then I just like moved on.
Yeah, so when they said they made like sweeping improvements to the feel of playing Ogre, like they weren't lying. Like it does feel like really good. Like the thing that stands out the most to me is and this is like just a combo routing thing, but when he would use 214 AC, it was always like very spacing dependent for your routing and for your proration. And basically now you only use 214 AB, the low slide, if you like specifically want to preserve a bounce. But you don't need it for like high proration routing anymore. You can just use AC and it will just work. And it will just leave them close enough to where you can like pick up with 2B or even 5B or even 6C. Like they gave more of his normals OTG properties and things like that. So like it just feels easier to convert like your smaller hits. And then like on the flip side, his maximum damage potential went up. Now, and this kind of feels like semi-universal. This feels like most characters, but like if he has a bomb on you in the corner and he gets a counter hit 236B, like his best starter, then he does like 4.2 without spending meter. So that feels like appropriate. It doesn't feel like outlandish, like compared to everyone else. It kind of feels like he's just doing the thing just like everybody else. But there's just so much quality of life that they put into him, and I know that some of it was like very directly like the 214 AC change was something that I had brought up specifically and like posted in Komonu's Discord is like, hey, that's gonna be like really frustrating that like if I get a counter hit 214 AC hit and they're in the air, I literally have no way of picking it up without meter, and that just feels wrong for like kind of the risk reward of like throwing something out like that in neutral, you know. And they were like, bet. Here, just have this. You'll never drop this. You'll just do 214 AC into 2C and you'll like it. And I was like, yes, I will. Thank you so much. So, yeah, I've really been enjoying the changes. It feels like they gave him a lot of love, not just in terms of like character strength, but like character feel. Like it just feels better to play. But all of the strengths of the character didn't actually change too much. Like Bomb is still doing exactly what it did before. In fact, most of your routing into like the C grab steer ender setup that puts you into like the late phase before detonation, like all that stuff is pretty much the same. The biggest difference, like practically speaking, to like his strategy is just that like his air fireball game feels like noticeably better. Like it feels harder to dash up and block his like a projectile and just punish him for it. Like you have to be really really close for it now. So his ability to just like stall and like jump away and throw projectiles feels better. And his 236A is like crazy good damage and like converting without resources anywhere on screen. So like you have to like really respect the 7 frame option, especially like post CS. And that was already true. And in most situations, like if I'm knocking you down and you have CS, then like you're probably in the corner and you probably have bomb on you anyways. So like effectively those situations didn't change that much for me. But now I can do that like mid screen and not need a bomb for it and things like that. So yeah, his 236A is probably like the biggest direct buff that he received. Either of his 236s really. Um, Dude, having to pre-patch, like on release of the Ogre patch, having to use your 236BB, his like punch rekka, to anti-air someone, because it is like his dive invul property move, and then do like a 2 frame manual delay stagger, and then like a 1 frame dash 2B link was kind of insane for the game that we're playing, where it's like so much easier now for a lot of characters to do things like hide routing is like incomparably easier to like what it was last version. I know Defiant can attest to that, but like all these characters are doing things a lot easier, and so then for Ogre to have like this crazy micro dash link, I was like, wow, that that feels like a lot. And so now just being able to 236B and pick up with 2C, yeah, it feels really nice. But if you were like worried about the power level of Ogre, I mean, I think that like roughly to compared to the rest of the cast, I think that like it didn't really change that much. He still has like pretty much the same flaws. He still has pretty much the same strengths. He's just like getting rewarded off of those strengths a little more, you know? So in my mind though, like he's still strong enough to be a threat anywhere, like against any character. I don't think that even in his like really bad matchups, I still don't think that it's like really that bad. I think that you can definitely just better player people. Um, so yeah, good character. Okay, actually, final thought about like where I think Ogre sits in this patch, this version is like I actually released a counterplay guide today.
I saw
Um,
that.
Yeah, and the what I had quoted was like something where I said like I'm kind of coming around to the idea that like if a character is on the weaker side, I don't feel the need to just like openly share counterplay to them because
Yeah,
like
I agree.
you know, and like let them have their thing. If they have to like really work really hard, then sharing counterplay to low tiers is kind of whatever. Like I'm not really a fan of that actually. But sharing counterplay to top tiers is pretty nice. And so I don't know if like Ogre's actually top tier, but I think he's strong enough that it merited me being like, all right, here's what you do about bomb because I know a lot of people are just like really overwhelmed. They're like, damn, I start glowing purple and it's Jover. So I don't know, maybe that'll help.
The little like Twitter preview. I only saw it like right before we started, so I haven't watched the full video. But I saw the preview video. Uh, like when you show like hide 2Aing and then hitting Ogre and then still blocking the bomb. You know if like 6 frame 2A's can block that bomb, or did you test?
Certain that
They can.
fairly certain that they can.
They can. Okay.
I did
I
some
think
of it today.
the exceptions would be like weird matchups like Waldstein, but he has other
Yeah.
things that he can do anyways. Actually, that's kind of a harder matchup. I'm starting to think that it's like maybe maybe a losing matchup even. I don't like it.
The A fireball changed. You said like it's harder to punish. Did they lower like the landing recovery, or what did they do?
They both lowered the landing recovery and they increased the hit stun and block stun by like 3 frames or so.
Oh wow.
Uh, yeah, so also in combination with, I didn't really talk about it much, but all of his command grab enders now give a static plus
Oh
33
yeah.
knockdown. And so off of any command grab ender, just like a normal meterless ender, you can expect projectile Oki that's like plus 12 on block. Um, so what used to be literally just like a knowledge check, like it's so goofy, but like you would get this knockdown with Ogre, and you could do this projectile, but if they back teched, even in the corner, they could back tech and assault over it and punish you because you just did not have enough frame advantage off of most of his enders. And so unless you had a counter hit that would bring it up to plus 27, his projectile Oki, I'm putting in quotes, was like entirely a knowledge check. But now it's like real, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Then the B fireball you can like do falling buttons after now, right?
and Silent is loving that. He's like,
Yeah.
it's so funny. Like watching, he posted this clip on Twitter. He was like really feeling himself. He's like, oh yeah, I'm doing it. I'm going Shrek mode. And then he does like TKB Fireball, and I was just giggling. I was just like, this dude's having so much fun. So
No, the
I don't.
ogre fireballs is like where I had the most fun when I was playing the character because it just I don't know, they just feel good to throw. And now I'm sure they feel like infinitely better.
They do. They feel really nice. His force function, by the way, is like it's virtually the same. They they buffed it by 1 frame of recovery. So now instead of being 51 frames of recovery, it's 50 frames of recovery. Please clap.
Like
You
that's
know?
Awesome.
like that's genuinely it.
That's genuinely it. But they buffed his dash block buffer, so it's easier to repeatedly dash block. And I feel like the combination of these two changes was so funny to me because it was like Komone looked directly at me through my monitor and said, no, I'm not letting you turn Kuon Wheel into a blue shell. Your force function does nothing still. Please dash block. And I'm like nodding, like, okay, I'll do that.
That is funny that he's like, I'll give you 1 frame, but like he's like, let's
They
be
got
real.
improved by 2%.
Yeah, you gotta look at it glass half full. I guess I haven't really had too much time to play against Ogre. The most I've had was like Silence, like day one Ogre after the patch, so I don't really like, it's a bit different. But he definitely seems pretty good. I thought that character was good before he got buffed,
He was.
so
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a bit spooked fighting him afterwards. I think the character we're probably the most spooked fighting against right now is Wagner.
Yeah.
I think one touch and 2 throws, doing enough damage to get a KO is not okay. I'll say it.
It's pretty wild. And definitely I've been on the receiving end of that. I definitely like played the set with Red, and before I did, I was like, all right, I feel pretty like I feel actually pretty okay about this patch, but like we'll see later how I feel after I play Red. Yeah. And yeah, there were a few situations where I was like, damn, I really died. Like that's crazy. But also ST drill coming back is just like nostalgia of just like I'm just gonna do this. All right, I'm just gonna hold this. Both of us staring at each other like, yep, this is the situation. It's okay. It is
So
a little different though, right? Right? Because like now, like she has to do a slight delay after the drill in order to like set up her falling normal correctly. So you actually kind of have a little bit more of like a telegraphed timing where you can like shield and
oh.
so that's the difference is like before ST Wagner would just like do 236 AA as fast as possible and she'd just like boop and then she'd instantly be like in her range to falling increased JC. Now they actually have to do like a small delay on it, which you can then shield and then like, you know, contest. So I feel like they actually did a pretty good job of like kind of meeting in the middle of like not making it quite as difficult to use as a pressure reset point, but also making that pressure reset point a little bit more telegraphed. So if you do know your counterplay, you can like actually do it a little more consistently. So that to me is like feels pretty good. I'm okay with her like having that. But yeah, the combo throw damage is like pretty pretty high.
Do you
Pretty
know? You know the situation if you shield the increased JC? Is she punishable or she's just minus or is she like +1 or what?
you know, I'm tempted to say that she's minus, but I'm so curious. I'm going to boot up and check right now.
Yeah, I don't think I've also another character I haven't really I mean I guess I've just been fighting a lot of Izumis now that I think about it. A lot of
Yeah.
people on Izumi. But it's also nice to see, you know, like staying back on the game. Still
Yeah.
cooking people with a week 1 character.
Also, like I don't know, I had so much fun playing Infinity and Squish, and for as much as like we talk about the game having changed, and it's true, like the game has changed compared to like what it was in previous versions. But like when I play against those players, uh, it's like if you want to, some of the things that we used to do never really went away, and so it feels so like nostalgic to me to play against them and feel like it's 2019 again. It's 2019 in my heart. Let's see. Okay. There are so many hits to this.
Yeah, it's funny you know, like I've like you know, obviously this patch is like like you're saying it's a different game, but it's nice to, you know, I still feel like it's still like under night for sure. Like blocking is still like good. Like you know the new Strive patch came out, right? And I was like, okay, this patch looks kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. You know, let me boot up Strive and like play some games and stuff. And then like I was, you know, just playing some Kai, and I was like, let me watch some uh like high level Kai, and I like was watching like the best Kai player. I forget his name, but I was just like watching some of his matches, and like he in one round he DP'd 6 times, and they all hit.
Bro.
And I'm like, oh, I'm just supposed to be like this is how I get out on defense. Like I just DP a lot. Like that's what you're supposed to do. And it's like, you know, stuff in uni is really strong, but like blocking is, you know, number 1 option. Like I'm watching this and I'm like, wow, this is a lot of reversals. You can it kind of depends on what you count as like interaction, right? Because you may count that as like a really back and forth sort of offense defense situation where, you know, DP resetting the neutral, lots of like not super long block strings, compared to Uni, where like the interaction comes with like the establishing respect and then going for the OS crush or the dash up throw or the pressure reset, that kind of thing. And those all still exist in like both games to an extent, but it's interesting to see that like where you're supposed to like what the norm is in the games, and like yeah, the norm in Uni is still like down back and like play for cycle and that kind of thing.
And there are definitely caveats to that, but agreed. Like it's still like we're still playing the game, you know. So
Yeah, yeah. There are like I saw you tweeting about or replying to Redblade's tweet about like Vorpal like not feeling like it matters as much like on Wagner because like you just kill the opponent.
yeah, that was so funny to me. That's the most Red Blade strategy of all time. Like I was like, I have to respect you for that. But I did like talk to him a little about it afterwards, and basically he was just saying that like um if he has pressure established, that he's probably not going to he's like not going to try and overextend to win Vorpal. He's still just going to play to his offensive position. And then if he does get like reversaled, then that's fine. It's kind of like a gamble that he can make with his health bar, but that he's not going to be like quite giving into as much passivity, seeing like Grid and Vorpal on the opponent's side if he already has a strong situation to play into, which I think is fine. Like I think that's perfectly fine. But yeah, I think that like there was kind of a response that I saw after to that, which is like, yeah, playing for cycle hasn't really been a thing this version, and I was like, what? What? What are you talking about? Like you can't say that and then also say Celestial's broken in the same sentence, you know what I mean? Like either shielding is really good, Celestial's broken, grid break damage is crazy, and shields are not necessarily safe. Uh you can say all of those things. Uh, you can't then say like all of those things and then say, but like the cycle is a psyop, you know, like
Yeah,
it all fits together, like you have to take it all into consideration. And just because you make the active decision to ignore grid on the opponent's side and risk them getting celestial so that you can like double down on your pressure and like shoot for a frame trap, that doesn't mean that it's not going to significantly affect the outcome of the game. You know what I mean? Especially if you let them get Celestial, and it's like your first knockdown of the round. Like that can still swing significantly from that point on in the round. You know what I mean?
hmm
Uh, I think it's a lot easier for me personally to not care about Celestial if they're like one touch from death, and if I get any next hit, I win the round. Like that's a lot easier for me to stomach. But for the most part, I still just feel like when this version dropped, I kind of looked at those changes, especially Celestial, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do the clear thing where I just like ignore grid for the most part because I can just like get a hit and then Vorpal strip into 2-2C or whatever like messed up situation
yeah.
and then go again and win. I was like, oh, the consequences of my actions will come for me. So I think that's still true. Like I still pretty much feel that way.
Yeah,
And then
I agree. Sorry, go ahead.
like making the read to actively like not pay attention to grid from the opponent for a little bit because you want to like capitalize on their player habits, that's still a read that you're making. Just like how if you decide not to tech a throw at all or input any option select, that in itself is also a read. It can be a read to
hmm
like not pay attention to grid. It can be a read to not OS. And sometimes you have to do those things. Like it's a little not very intuitive, but like sometimes that's how you win. So
Are you guys like playing for Celestial? Like, is this like something that I don't know about? Like, I like don't consider
Accidentally, yeah.
I like don't
accidentally.
consider Celestial like ever basically. Uh,
I consider it when I'm playing against Red Blade Tsurugi because I actually feel like sometimes the only way to get out of the situation is to do so much ridiculous like shielding that he finally has to like give me some space or like let me get celestial, but either of those things are like still preferable. But yeah, not usually. Not usually. It's more just like if I really feel like the opponent is not paying any attention to my usage of the D button and is just like, I'm gonna frame trap forever, then I'll also be stubborn and be like, fine, well if you're not gonna let me play, then I'll get celestial. So
Yeah.
but it's not like something that happens all the time, at least for me.
Yeah, like at least I've never played for Celestial, but I have I can recall playing the other day and I was like, oh, if I don't shield something, then my opponent will get Celestial. So then like I shielded a
Yeah.
move and then was able to deny the Celestial. But I've never like been doing like Gordeau grid steal so that I can like get enough grid for Celestial.
Yeah, I don't think
I'll
celestial
do crazy
happens on
backflips for
offense
celestial.
anymore. I like 1.0 was messed up because characters like Lon could get celestial on offense. That doesn't really happen anymore, and that's a good change. I think it happens on defense when you are being fed ridiculous amounts of stuff, like ridiculous amounts of projectile Oki, like
Yeah.
steal from Carmine and Kuon,
Mhm.
and Kuon is doing flight 3 times in your face. Like at that point, celestial's pretty. It's gonna happen,
Mm. What about you, BB? In terms of playing for Celestial?
BB, you there?
He's holding one. He's holding one.
Wait, what was the question?
I was asking if you do you ever like play for Celestial or like consider it as like a threat or anything like that?
Um, it's weird. A lot of times when I'm playing, I notice that I get Celestial. I'm not actively like trying to farm for Celestial. It just kind of happens naturally. But I'll definitely, like you said, if I see someone at 5 blocks of grid and the cycle's about to end, I'm like, okay, I have to shield something. I don't want them to get Celestial.
Right.
So
Like, them having
I'll
book was
definitely try to
fun, but
take it away if they are close to it rather than play for it myself. I mean, if I notice that I'm close to it, I mean, maybe I could try to go for Celestial, but it's not really worth in a lot of situations, like. But I mean, I guess with the grid changes they made in this patch and valuing shielding and concentrating more, I guess maybe like dropping a combo sooner to try to build enough grid to win Celestial could be more common, but I haven't really noticed anyone trying to do anything like that yet.
Yeah, I guess we're getting less Celestials now with the grid change, which I personally love the grid change because it's just more decision making. It's going back to like how clear was, where like you got to drop your combo to win cycle more often because you have to like otherwise your opponent is gonna. It would give your opponent a grid if the combo is too long, right? I'm not misremembering.
Yeah.
In clear, yeah,
yeah, comeback grid was kind of. And the thing is, like, it was not a very equally distributed mechanic among characters because, like,
yes,
there were some characters like Waldstein who really wanted to do just a normal B&B, nothing crazy, into God Press, and like during God Press, uh, they'd be like swinging grid in the opponent's direction, and that just like felt really bad. I
yeah,
actually my tinfoil hat theory about Lundrakia for the changes that he got going into like 1.03 was that his combos take so long that they were like, oh, this guy's combos take forever. We have to give him a grid steal mechanic on his 6B. I feel like that's where that came from.
mm-hmm.
So I could be wrong, but yeah, they changed that so that in 1.0, we were getting a lot of grid, relatively speaking, during combos. But 1.0 had like weird grid dynamics too. Like concentrate was not very good at all. So like zoners who like wanted to like, especially button zoners like Merkava who wanted to do like 5C with 5A concentrate into like another 5C or like some other button. Like that really sucked. Like it was not very viable at all in 1.0. And then Uzuki patch came around and they were like, yeah, let's like actually I've got it right here. Battle related adjustments. We've made adjustments to mechanics to with the intention of making back and forth strategy unique to this game more compelling and deep. And so part of that was like concentrate's going to be good again. And then like same thing. I'm looking at the Ogre patch. It's like same thing. Overall playfield, universal game mechanics, reassessment of risk reward. So like progressively, as this game has gone on with every single patch, uh, they've been improving the grid system, and I do think it's a direct improvement. Like I do really like this system too. So yeah, we like you said, we like decisions. We like interaction, you know. So I think making the interactions that take place outside of combos like the most relevant, yeah, that's really good in my mind. Defiant, what do you think of like the grid changes specifically?
I think bro fell asleep.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's here.
All right, Garm, what do you think?
So you know the tweet that was complaining about cycles not mattering? That happened right after I played a set with the person who made that tweet. I think for me, I'm getting Celestial a lot, and that might have to do with my character not having as many things on defense to look for, so I'm just spamming shield. But it's the grid changes are noticeable for sure. I've always like looked at excess on Hilda as like my second health bar because I just get to stall neutral, and neutral can lead to more excess through cycle or whatever. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think this patch I'm dropping combos early, pretty often relative to before because
Yeah.
I see where the grid is and where the clock is. I'm like, oh, I really need this cycle to continue having like an objective in this round besides just like run away.
I do love that it actually scales to the proration of the combo though. So like if you get
Yeah.
a nice big juicy counter hit, you actually like get more grid if you continue the combo than if you just like do 2A 2A, you know? Like that's so cool. That like always should have been the case. That's so sick
Yeah.
to me.
I think like most of the system mechanic changes, like since the like as you're saying, like it's pretty much always improved when they've like made changes to that. I also kind of like it, like it kind of brings back Gord's identity of like being the grid like stealer controller, because like it feels like
Maximum grid guzzler.
yeah, it feels like the grid stealing matters more, especially with I don't know if you guys know he can end his combos in EX sim now.
Yeah.
So you can steal the grid. It's he can steal a full block of grid just like how he could back and clear at the end of his combos now. Uh which I think pretty is pretty neat. Obviously I'm biased, but I think it's still decision making to be made, you know. Like or like routing into a sim earlier in my combo to steal the grid before the timer ticks over or something like that. Uh are there any like characters you guys have played against in this patch that like like oh like obviously I think we all kind of agree that like the patch direction is generally not the one we wanted. Um and like the patch is like still enjoyable, but are there any characters you guys are playing against where you're like, okay, like these buffs are like actively not okay, or like Lineade 5C 2C kind of situation?
um So far, I have not run into anything that has made me just go like, "Oh my God, why?" I think like the closest really is Wagner throw, but the thing is, I've been conditioned by years of Robert Downplay Jr. So perhaps I'm not the best person to like form an opinion on Wagner because I don't know. At this point, it's the devil I know, so I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Um,
What about Big Black
I
Garmin?
Uh, honestly, every character feels pretty much the same to me. I don't think anyone got anything that is like overly egregious. Honestly, if there is one buff that I like the least is seeing people using Byakuya's C spike and getting shielded and not getting punished for it.
Mm.
That is one of the ugliest changes I've ever seen in my life.
Wait, C Spike?
What dash
Yeah,
C follow up?
his C fling follow up off of his webs.
So
Oh,
they buffed the
oh.
damage on it. So like so in
They
the
made it a
patch,
better starter and it's safe on shield.
Oh, is it like throw punishable on shield though? Like,
I mean, I think at worst it's -5, but I feel like a lot of times you block it, you're not even going to be in range to throw it. So
okay, I understand. That is a slopper change.
I didn't think. Yeah, they kind of buffed everyone's like DP starters, but that was like something they literally said in the patch notes. Like we're buffing everyone's like
Yeah.
DP reversal punishes. But I kind of also bleeds over to like everyone's like high reward OS crushes. I didn't know that that wasn't punishable. It's funny because I played against Corey and he was using it a lot, and like I just BSM'd him out of it, and I didn't even think about like the on block situation. Uh, but I guess if you can BSM, then you can probably like
Yeah,
stuff
so
the
what
C
Lid is
spike.
saying, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even notice the buff because I was too busy anti-airing you," and then he
yeah,
dabbed on him really hard.
Hey, BSM's like 3K combo. Okay, it's like
Dude,
nothing.
dude, I so strongly believe that that should have just always been the case for Gord. Like, I
Yeah,
believe in my soul, this should have been a thing last version. Like he, hmm.
I
I
thought
I
that.
believe in the
agree.
BSM buff. I believe in it.
I definitely thought that about like clear Gordeau. For UNI2, I was kind of like, well, I just always have meter, so I don't really care. But like in clear, like Gordeau being weak is like actively why I didn't play him in clear. But that's a different conversation. But yeah, I think
Yeah,
they
since
the go ahead.
I was just gonna say, since Defiant is asleep question mark, since Defiant may no longer be here, I think that in his stead, I should do my best to complain about Eltnum. I'm not gonna do it nearly as well as he will, but I'll try. You know, I'll try. Um, I do think that like the 5B buff looks a little silly, but like I don't actually think it's gonna change my strategy against her. Like I'm still gonna high profile that. Like if I'm playing Landrekia, I'm still gonna rebeat and like press C Rekka and win. So I don't care about that, but like I definitely care about the 214B change. Um,
that was another one. That
Yeah,
was. I mean, like. I don't feel like it's the worst thing in the world, but it's just one of those like, really, like I don't. It wasn't really necessary to do this, but I guess
I'm still wondering why I'm getting hit out of the air by 214A and 214B. Like I find that extremely annoying.
I
that
think
is very
it's probably
annoying.
worse with 214A. Like 214B does it has a little bit more of a dead zone. And then of course C has like just the best of both worlds and just
Yeah.
catches like a background start. But
I've been anti-aired by all of those moves way
Yeah.
too much. I've been
Mm.
anti-aired by 214A from behind her.
oh my
Like
lord.
I don't understand.
Yeah, the Eltnum and Gordeau changes have already retired a Hilda player. He
oh
booted up,
man.
got smacked by Elt's new 5B, and then ate a 4K BSM. The way he talks about it sounds like they happen simultaneously, and he's not. Now he's talking about going to Climax only as a spectator. So,
Oh man. That's rough.
Yeah, they
yeah,
also
it is.
buffed
This patch is getting some people for sure.
the 2-2B Eltnum. I saw you can like if you have full bullets, you can like 2-4C and then 2-2B and then just combo 2-2B into 2-2B again and just reload 10 bullets because the it like
Oh.
crumples on hit now.
I see.
And then I think it's also just like it's just like it was for best starter before. I think it's better. It's part of the like buffing DP punishes. But I think you can like 2-2B. I want to say you can 2-2B reload and then still combo afterwards. So like you're guaranteed to have the purples. Which
Yeah, I
is,
think it was reload 22A after 22B.
Yeah. Which like that move is like +10 on block. So like that's not an exaggeration. That's just it's +10 on block.
Yeah.
So that's another like you don't see that as like a pressure
Yeah.
move, but
So like these Eltnum changes were like not desirable. Like I don't think anybody's really cheering in the streets with like, oh yay, they buffed Eltnum 214B. Like I don't think anybody was doing that. Maybe Eltnum players, but like the thing actually to me that I don't like about Eltnum in this patch is, and I know that it's at the expense of mid-screen Oki. I know that, but like still, because of these grid changes, you notice the grid gain on reload a lot more. You know?
yeah. I was fighting
Like,
Eltnum the other day and she reloaded and I was like, yeah, that's still there, huh?
Yeah, that seems like a holdover from the combat grid days because in ST and Clear
Yeah.
her combos were so long, and with a grid rework, like they just never removed it. Now she just still gets the one cycle off of every combo. She has so much control over how long her combos are based on what ender she uses too.
Yeah, so that in the context of the grid changes, I really don't like that. I think that probably should have been touched, but I mean, we've already talking about like the patch reception, like we already know based on the feedback that we got that there were some nerfs that were kind of like considered and let go and not implemented this time, but they heard us and said, okay, all right, next time it's going to be buffs and nerfs. So yeah, if I were to propose one nerf to Eltnum, it wouldn't be like any of all of these really strong tools. It wouldn't be like 214B or anything like that, even though that is like really hard to deal with. It would actually just be like that grid gain on reload going away because it just feels like too much on top of everything else and just like not really congruent with like the grid changes. So
Yeah,
that's my 2 cents.
it's kind of like annoying because they after the Izuki patch they had like the feedback survey and I put in that survey, please remove like Eltnum grid reload. Every other character's grid gain stuff got nerfed, but hers did not. And then it didn't change in the Ogre patch. And then I told Kavone again in person to his face at Arc World Tour the same thing, and then it also did not happen. So I do hope that that's on the list of considered nerfs that maybe didn't end up making it in. But I do think it's like very weird. It does seem like they removed everyone else's grid gaining stuff, as you said, Garm, and it's kind of just like a relic of the past.
Yeah, very profitable relic.
Very high value relic.
Good econ.
Oh yeah. Did you say, Lid, if there was like one thing this patch that like to answer your own question, was there like one thing on a character that like really got to you or
Yeah, that was the question.
so what did you think? Like what was yours?
Oh, you're asking me.
Yeah.
I didn't think we'd get here. I'm trying to think what I've like. It's hard to say because like in terms of like what I've experienced. Again, I've just been fighting a lot of Izumi, so like I haven't fought against Wagner, but like I'm sure that would be absolutely up there if I have. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I don't think I have an answer actually.
How do you guys feel about Landrechia and Carmine getting reduced damage on Bomb Starter and Blossom Starter?
It did take buffing the entire roster, but we did get Carmine nerfed, which I think deserves a round of applause. We finally have done it. I think it's a genuine nerf. Like it absolutely impacts the character.
think it's really healthy. Like I think it's a good change, and I still think that it would be nice to I still think just universally, semi-universally, it would be nice to have like some uh like accessible options against set play throw shimmies. Um I know that 1AD is dead, so I'm not trying to cope too hard here, but maybe making 1D AD not a awful thing to input. I would be okay with that, you know. But like, yeah, at least toning down the damage on like Carmine Shimmy, like I think that's really nice. Like I think he's getting like 2.9, so it's not totally insignificant, but not breaking 3K on it is like
Yeah.
I'll definitely call that a win.
I
That was something
saw.
that like
I was before you continue on with that. I saw your tweet about making like you're saying you'd like one DAD to be easier to input, but like how would you do that? How would you make it easier to input?
so in the patch, let's see, 1.02 that was just basically coming out of the beta into launch.
Okay.
They said fixed an issue where inputting uh three
Oh, the three
A, B,
CAD.
C, or
You don't
yeah,
have to plink.
basically
Yeah.
it said it would prioritize throws over 3B or 3C. Fixed that issue. But they do not seem to want to quote unquote fix the issue of 1D AD not being like a manual like 2-3 frame delay. Like you can't actually press those intuitively together. And I think it's because they specifically don't want you to be doing like CS OS. Um, so I understand that, like if that's their vision for the game, but also like Crouch Shield OS was like kind of how we dealt with um like set play shimmy situations is kind of as
Mm-hmm.
the default, and they had to do something more direct to blow it up. um I think it would be fine in this game personally if that were to come back with that as like the intent, you know? Like I don't think that it would suddenly create this dynamic where like CSOS like um one AD is just like prohibitively strong and you can't run strike throw. Because the thing is, when you have to press specifically 1D AD, you are subject to getting like grid break thrown while you try and get your CS out just the same. And like you see this all the time. This is why like VO is stronger against like stagger pressure and like tick throws and stuff like that than actually using CSs, because most of the time when you try and use CS in those situations, it doesn't work out well for you. You will like get hit trying to get your CS or like get
Or
grid
get a
broken
green
or something
shield.
like that, or get a green shield, and that would still happen. So that dynamic, in my opinion, I don't think that would change, but it would just give you a way to crouch shield OS again that would like make those set play shimmies not feel like quite so awfully weighted in the set play throwers favor. And again, I just think that like I said this earlier, but I think that dash up, back dash, and then the thing fires and their throw gets hit. I think it was like pure endorphins for like the first month, but now it's like the most boring aspect of the game to
Yeah.
me. So
Yeah.
I can only do it so many times before I stop having fun with it, and so I would just like for the defender to like have a better option set against it, you know? So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know exactly how you do that, but that would be one way that you
Yeah, I think you're right that it like technically those weaknesses like still do exist. So it's kind of like, well, do we really need to go that far?
Yeah, it for me it would be a because this version has done such a good job at making things feel good to use, like feel good to play. Like I feel like that's the whole direction of the version is like maybe things will be a little strong, but damn, you're gonna feel good doing it. You know, you're gonna feel good like dash blocking. You're gonna feel good, um, in just like general movement and like your inputs and things like that. So why not have like one DAD not feel like total crap to use? Because like some people are still gonna use it. Like when I play against Infinity and I'm like using Landrekia, he's still gonna use it to the effect that I like theorized would be possible, but not everybody is cracked like that. You know?
Mhm.
So I think it would just be cool to like let it be an option and let it come with like all of the downsides of that option too. But then that way, like that would kind of like finally make me like fully satisfied with like those set play shimmy situations. You know, I'll absolutely take Carmine and Lon doing less damage on them. That's good. I still feel like we can do even better though. But that's just me.
I think back to the I like pulled up the patch notes and I was just kind of like scrolling through them. I think two things I've definitely noticed are, or they're not like answering the question, I guess, but the three things I've definitely noticed are phone on 3C hitting full screen. I'm like I read that and then I was like, damn, this should really do be hitting me full screen. Cause like I so many times I've just instinctively been like I'm full screen versus phone on. Let me concentrate, and then I get 3C'd, and I'm like, oh, right, I can't do that. And then another one is the Yak 66B buff, because they just took like every attribute of that move and just like bumped up the numbers, and I'm like, oh, okay, like I guess.
I don't even challenge that anymore. I just assume that if they've dash bead like in any distance away that there's some kind of plus. I'll need to find it
No,
more,
yeah,
but right now I just assume that like I think he can be like what up to +6 or something like
plus
that.
8.
It's crazy.
No, play it. Yeah,
Oh
he
my
could be up to
oh my
+8.
lord. All right. Yeah, so I'm just like if you're not directly next to me when you do it, if you're like any distance away, I'm just like all
Yeah.
right, I'm gonna hold this.
Garm, I want you might have a different answer, but I was kind of talking to
Mhm.
you before about uh you were kind of calling it like a vacation patch because of the
Oh
Hilda
yeah.
because of the Hilda changes.
Oh, yeah. I still agree. I mean, yes, characters got stronger to play with. Uh, I think this is a good patch to like not take the results of your games too seriously, especially since Komone has sort of announced that future patches will have a different idea for power level. For Hilda, the teleports are very. How do I explain this? I feel like for Hilda, there's never been like a super concretely good situation to teleport. Um, it's mostly a tool that you use to like take a risk against someone's mental stack in terms of like when they're going to anti-air you or whatever. And now you get like a few more of those. But you're still gonna die doing it sometimes. And that's okay. That's where I'm at with this patch. I'm just gonna do stuff and die for it sometimes and try to enjoy myself, which I have been doing. Outside of that one time I got anti-air by Byakuya B when I wasn't expecting it to.
Would you say the Hilda change is like the change that stands out to you that you really don't like, or what
Oh,
is it?
I'm fine with those changes. Uh,
Or is
it's
there
if I
something?
had to pick one, it was just Wagner throw.
Okay, yeah. I guess that really is the easy answer, but it really is true, isn't it?
Yeah. For the TP changes, they're actually quite annoying to play against if you're not the Hilda player, but only if you're on a character that uh, really has to play into what Hilda wants to do. Like if you're someone who's stuck dash blocking into her, and she's like doing teleport air backdash, teleport again, assault, uh, chain shift, gloom, teleport again, etc. That feels really like you're stuck playing an anime fighter, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I've been
And I've
scrolling.
I've been on the receiving end of that. It doesn't feel good.
Yeah. I've been continuing to scroll through the patch notes. Character I've not fought yet, but I cannot imagine is Lene getting like all of her normal ranges buffed. Uh I don't know why they did that, and I haven't experienced it yet, but I'm not looking forward to it. Also, in the same sort of vein, is buffing the range of Yuzu's 66B. Like,
Yeah, that's wild. That move
not
was already like the most egregious move on her.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the Lene, like buffing Lene 6B range is kind of crazy to me.
I
could kind of-
haven't noticed it playing against Lene, so I can't. But I have played against Lene though, so
be
maybe the Lene
completely
players haven't
honest,
implemented.
the 214A change, like 214A -1, maybe it's just because I am now in the 5-frame club, but I don't really care. Like that, I feel like that was brought up to me as like, oh, that's so crazy, and like, yeah, it definitely feels like just the regular buffs to her normals feel a lot more substantial than just like 214A is -1. Like I don't really care, to be completely honest about that one.
I haven't fought a lot of any character this patch, to be honest. I've played so many Izumi mirrors, it's insane. Like I don't really have a lot of perspective on a lot of characters' changes so far.
I think that there are only a few characters now that I haven't played in this patch. Like Nanase is one of them. Who else have I not played? Not much Eltnum. Just like a few unranked. Let's see.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Okay, my
Hey.
cat unplugged my mic, so
Oh.
I had to.
I've
back
just been going through trying to figure out what characters I actually haven't played this patch, and I feel like I've played just about all of them except for Nanase.
About Aurier?
And oh, you know what? You're
Pinku's
right.
on
I
Aurier,
haven't I
right?
haven't fought some Aurier. Pinku's been around. Pinku's also been like on Mika.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, actually, okay, here's a little insight to you. Um, Pinku, in part, decided to mess around with Mika because she heard that Mika has a very special property. Mika cannot be J-Aid. Well,
Oh
you
yeah.
can actually hit with her with Rising JA, but none of the other normals will connect. And so Mika will take the JA on hit to the dome and then 3C you anyways, without a care in the world, because the rest of your string is not connecting to her. So maybe if you are like Phonon and you have like Rising JA into C Fireball, perhaps that'll work for you. But until then, Mika is the unscratchable character. So
Mm.
so that's part of part of the reason. But yeah.
Okay, so let's bring up a hypothetical scenario, right?
Okay.
Entire patch. I guess this is gonna be a boring answer for Foxa, but maybe the other two are interesting. Entire patch gets reverted. What's like something you're like, please don't take this away? Like this change for my character is like please keep this, or like I don't know. It could be like a small collection of changes. It doesn't have to be just one thing, but like what's something in this patch that you're like, okay, I know we kind of don't like the direction of this patch, but like low key, this is really nice.
I'll be
Okay.
honest, they could take away everything they gave Byakuya and it wouldn't make a difference to me. Like I don't feel like anything that he got was substantial. Increasing the hitboxes on his normals again. I mean, like you would notice it playing him if they took it away, but his normals are already pretty huge, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if there was one thing that they took away that would matter, it would be the increased damage on his C fling as a starter, because now that's his best DP punish on certain characters.
Mm.
So if they took that away, that would suck to lose out on that damage. But I mean, it's not really a huge thing. So they could have Byakuya's changes, honestly.
If I had to pick one ogre change that I would just have to keep, it wouldn't even be the 236X changes, even though those are probably like his biggest changes and like lead to his biggest damage. I just really like the 214 AC change so much because it just makes me know for sure that if I commit to this move that's like -6 on block, and I see that it hits, but they happen to be airborne, that I just still get something off of it. That just feels so good. I don't want that ever to go away. So you could actually take the 4.2k combo from me, and I would be okay. I would make it work, but I need that 214 AC change in my life. It's that's everything to me. I can't give that up.
I'm not super attached to most of the Hilda changes. They're not huge ones either. I guess if there was one, it would be the pin starter proration. So pin starter does a lot more damage now,
Oh,
and for me, what that means is if I do the fake 50-50 into pin, that does a decent lick of damage. And also, if you anti-air pin someone, I feel like you deserve to get like a fair amount of damage there instead of just like a 2400 uh, no gloom sort of deal. So yeah, I like that one quite a bit.
what about I don't know who's your second most played character right now? Tsurugi probably.
Oh, I don't think Surgia's changed for me at all.
That's fair.
I haven't played him too much. My second
I
most played
guess.
character right now is Izumi.
Oh right. I guess the 6/6E change would be the like. Oh, Tsurugi's force function hop goes through projectiles.
Yeah. I don't know how to feel about that. It removes some of the counterplay, but I feel like most like players weren't doing it.
I actually like
Yeah, to
that
be
change just because of the fact that players weren't really utilizing 4FF to begin with. And also, if you're gonna give him projectile invul, that's like the fairest move to put it on.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, to be completely honest, because I know like Tom Clancy had brought that move up to me and was like, this really removes like some counterplay that, like, for example, Hyde could like throw out a projectile on a read that Tsurugi would be like using that follow up to close him in the mid range. And I was like, I'll take your word for it. I don't play Hyde, but like I do play, you know, Batista and Landrekia and Ogre, all characters who do have projectiles. And I gotta say, I have never made that read, never intentionally. I have always thrown a projectile, saw that he had FF up, and been like, oh no, I'm about to die. So for me, that changed nothing. Like, it was just like, oh, I was dying before, I'm still dying. I'm not making that read, not intentionally. So like I at first I was like, oh yeah, that kind of sucks for moving counterplay and stuff. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, I'm not doing that. You're braver than me. Like,
I
I'm
was
never
doing
doing
that
that.
though. Like, I mean, when I played Hyde into Tsurugi, I was definitely abusing 22C into his force function because once you put him in there, he can't get out. He just eats the low and
Oh,
dies, right? Because
okay,
22C is on him for
okay.
so long, so he has to be really, really precise with the timing to like be able to beat you doing a dash up low. Like he has to dodge it somehow. But now he doesn't. And I guess that's okay because it really wasn't common, like you said. But I will miss that a little bit if I'm playing Hyde into Tsurugi.
I was just looking at the Batista changes because I was like, huh, what else changed outside of like, I know that now she gets like a better punish, better DP punish using increased force function, like the aerial version now recovers so that you can like pick up on it. So that's cool. But I was like, really, like that and like the up back b-ball changes, what else did she really get? And it's like one of the first things I see is decreased startup of Concordia 2AB. And my mind is blown because like I don't feel like there's been a single patch where this move hasn't gotten better and better and better. Like, that's crazy, man. They really said you better be using this funny barrier. Like, you better be doing it. It's the character now. And I'm like, okay, if you say so.
Funny because I was playing against a big fella at locals yesterday, and I lost a round because he did. I think it was just FF disco, and I did like run up something. I don't remember what I did, but he did up. He did up back and then ball, and then the ball hit me and it crumpled me, and then it hit comboed into the disco, and I lost the round
Oh,
for
that's
it.
sick.
I
I
was
mean,
like,
I'm
oh,
sorry.
okay. I mean, I do think that's like kind of crazy that like I guess wouldn't combo, but he was like that was the change, and I was like, oh yeah, you're right. So I guess like
No,
outside
I'm
of
probably in the minority here because like, I feel like we say buff fat mostly as a meme, but the B-ball change I'm actually way okay with because like as far back as ST, I remember using up back B-ball against, just for example, like against Hyde, and the Hyde would get counter hit. This Hyde was Isaac, by the way, doing dash C. So I would counter hit his dash C with my up back B ball, and then he would simply do another dash C and catch my landing. And I was just like, wow,
sounds like Isaac.
I can't escape this ape. So now it's like, well, if Isaac were to be like dash seeing at me repeatedly in the neutral, if I did up back B ball, he would at least be crumpled long enough for me to retreat. And that feels like, in my mind, that's reparations. That's fair. you know,
Yeah,
I don't know about Concordia getting even better. Um, that like is maybe a little questionable to me, but I'm okay with the B-ball change, believe it or not.
yeah. I don't know. Like, I mean, have you ever been in a situation where you're like, man, I wish like I got counter hit out of the startup of that parry.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, that move already is so good that I feel like when I use it and get blown up for it, it's almost exclusively for the same reasons that like Tsurugi gets blown up for it. It's because someone like made the read that I was gonna do it and then like did a dash up low and I got blown up for it. Like that is generally what happens. But like I can't think of a time uh in this version of the game where like I really needed 2AB to just start up faster in order to win neutral
yeah.
exchanges. Like that's just never happened. So
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe before the high 2FF nerfs, I think.
I think even
But
then it was less about the startup and more about the awkward thing would be you make the read that they're going to like throw a projectile from full screen. So you put up your barrier, but then he does the slow increase to FF and it crawls towards you, and by then you've like run out of invul on your barrier, so you just get hit. Like that's what happened. But but it was never like a startup thing. But it's it's whatever. Like it was strong before, it's still strong. Who cares? But, I will say that like Batista looks pretty fun between because I didn't really play her much in the Ogre patch. Just as she got like all of the crazy force function nerfs that let you like delete Kuan wheel. I didn't play her much in the Ogre patch. So I feel like and I think Defiant is in the same wavelength too. I feel like my other character, probably other than Ogre, will be some Batista again because it just looks like so much fun, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, I guess for my characters, well, I guess it's for Gordeau. Like, I can't, I like part of me is like I would keep BSM meterless combo, but then part of me is like, man, we should have had that shit forever ago.
Yeah.
Like, so, but then the other thing would be the new being able to end combos in 214C feels like really strong because it does like a tiny bit less damage than like your other EX enders. Like it's technically not the most damaging route you can do, but the knockdown is really good, and then you obviously also get the grid steal. So like it's just been like my go-to EX ender um pretty much all the time. One other
I
buff that
think
I
that
think
might actually be his best ender now.
yeah, I like the damage difference between doing like the metered ender like metered enders where you still get knocked down is what I should say. Uh is not very different anymore. He does have more active frames on his 6xc, which is pretty good. So you can't actually walk back against 660 round start anymore. You'll actually still block it, and then he'll be like really plus in your face. You also can't backdash against Reaper round start anymore, which kind of crazy. It'll just the extra range on it will just catch everyone's backdash now.
Good to know.
But I don't think that is like actually that impactful, because I think like just like the other ways you deal with Reaper are also just like pretty fine to deal with. It's kind of just like you get to hold that into the. I mean, 236 is +7, but I don't know. I feel like that changed. Like I've talked to some people about that, and people are like, yeah, no, it makes sense that like when most characters use meter for their turn, they get their turn, and like Gordeau like didn't guarantee get his turn, and I'm like, yeah, I guess that's true. So I think the BSM thing is obviously really nice, but right now I'm loving the being able to end combos in 2 and 4C. Feels really good. I think oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so I feel like Gord, he's like generally rated a little lower. It's probably fair to say he's like a low tier character, right? Like in the context of the strength of the game. So I think that like looking at any of those changes, it's like hard not to like nod your head, you know. I kind of wonder about Chaos because I really only I played a little bit against Silicon's Chaos, just very briefly. It was like very late at night / early in the morning for both of us. It was like a first of 5. We didn't play a whole ton, like, but I wonder if he really got like enough, or if it'll really ever be enough for this character in this version, you know, without reverting all of the nerfs coming into it. Um, like it looks like his normals got hella buffed, but I don't know. I wonder if it'll be enough, you know?
Yeah, I think there's also a good chance that we just like never know. Like the people who play Chaos at a high level, their sub characters are, very good. And I think that like when I see, Silicon stream, Monday night uni local meetup, and they show like they have like the little overlay that shows which character everyone plays. Like I'm not seeing Chaos on there. Like I always see Hyde whenever I open that stream. Like I don't like if Snappy never goes back to Chaos and plays current patch Wagner. I'm like I can't really be upset.
Yeah.
I am excited about the Enkidu changes.
Oh, I was gonna try to find some time to complain about that.
Oh, please tell me.
What is up with that dive kick? Like,
Just shield it.
what? When is the plus? When is it not plus? Why do I have to shield it?
It's a screen shake.
There's a screen shake effect.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you see Enkidu fly into the air with force function, just stand shield. Like,
Okay.
like he doesn't have any other option.
But like, doesn't he get a plus off of like jumps, or no?
You have to do
yeah.
jump assault. Like you can do it off of a jump, but you have to do it at like peak jump height. Like you can mess up the timing of your jump. Like if you're not doing it like right at the peak.
Okay.
So I guess he could do like up forward out of the corner into dive kick. And then like if he gets shielded, then he won't get punished. Yes. Or maybe you like are -2 in their face and then you press 4C 5k.
Yeah. I mean, he was already doing that with minus dive kick.
Yeah, but on shield now, I think shield dive kick at that height would be like -5. I guess it depends on character, but I do love
so happy to see. I'm just so happy to see Enkidu get some new routing. Finally, like he had it in 1.0 clear, and then never again until like now. And now it's like all of the cool like upkick mid-screen upkick loops and stuff like that that people were like experimenting with. Now that's just like reality. It's like more practical. So that's pretty cool. I like that.
I love the increased 236B counter hit, giving a full combo mid-screen. I think I left this comment on your video, Foxes, but I'm like, if you get counter hit by that move in neutral, like you deserve it. Like you should be owned for getting hit by that. I think that is a pretty great change because that move always felt like a Hail Mary, and then your reward was like you had to do like a super early 2-2C cancel to get a combo, and if like you weren't point blank when you connected with your opponent, then the 2-2C wouldn't combo, which means that you couldn't use the move at the tip of its range if you wanted a combo. You'd have to use it at the shorter range, and then you're doing a really slow move at like an even closer range. So I think that is a pretty good change.
Yeah.
But I think we kind of have covered everything I wanted to talk about with the patch. I don't know if you guys have any like last minute thoughts you want to get off your mind.
I think like my closing thought about the patch, because we know again, like we've got communication from Kamone that like he understands like how we feel about it, and the direction going forward is going to be a little different. So that's really good news. But I am like I just want everyone to keep in mind that they said, okay, cool. So from this point on, we will have buffs and nerfs. So I just want you all to know that when Carmine gets some goofy buff next version alongside whatever nerf he gets, that like we saw this coming. This was like written. Okay, like don't be surprised. They're gonna give him a goofy nerf, and it's not gonna matter. It's just gonna be like fun and not very impactful. But they have to give you like the jingly keys if they're gonna nerf your character. You know, they have to like distract you with something kind of fun and funny. Like with Lundraki at 6B, that move is genuinely like not super strong or anything like that as an Oki tool this patch, but it's jingly keys, you know. So they're gonna give characters jingly key buffs.
Yeah.
Just be aware of that. Like the Carmine buff is gonna happen, but I think it'll come with some like substantial nerfs too. So like, just be prepared for both. You know, don't be too glum when it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, also there's some nerfs that like kind of just can't happen because like it'll just remove
True.
like too much of like the fun factor from a character. Like Linné is not gonna be slower. Like that's never getting reverted. They're not gonna slow down Linné because that's just like anyone who's picked up the character since that buff, like if they try to play her after the nerf, they're gonna be like, wow, Linné feels so gross, and like are just like not gonna play the game anymore. I think that kind of thing is like just how it's gonna be. Some nerfs like we've had in the past, like nerfing Hyde to FF, like that nerf, like I feel like obviously it lowered the strength of that move, but I don't think that made Hyde like less fun. I think it like that was kind of like, oh, this 2FF move is pretty silly. Oh, I can't just spam it all the time. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think there's gonna be nerfs, but they might like if you're expecting, like I don't know, Akatsuki to be removed from the game, like let's
Oh man.
like let him cook, but it might not happen.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're done here. Thank you guys for joining me. That was a swell chatting. Shout out to Defiant. Round of applause for Defiant for really pulling up and really
Let's go Defiant.
really speaking some words.
Let's go
Hell yeah.
Defiant.